All right, everyone, we're back again today, and what we want to talk about is Conquest 16. This is your scruffy-looking scoundrel, your favorite crazy Carillion solo straight. And I wanted to do a follow-up to the video I posted the other day about Darth Malgus and Conquest feats, and should you be worried about them, how we're going to get this guy done, how we're going to red crate. So I wanted to take the time to go ahead and do a follow-up. It's been about 4 days. Conquest has been active now. So I want to go over some of the global feats I've already accomplished. I am in Sector 5, just started the middle, roughly, of it. So not too far into Sector 5. Again, it's 4 days. Now, I want to explain a little bit there. My thought process, what I like to do, is the way these things go in the cadence is we know we're about to be hitting, Grand Arena coming up. And I like to try and go ahead that first 2 weeks or so of the Conquest. I like to try and power through as much as I can. So I'm not worried about too much and doing feats and 3-starring every node. I just want to get through all the sectors, get all the stuff knocked out I can, and then go back and do cleanup and individual feats, things like that. And since we're talking about the Inquisitor feats, I want to try and do them all at the end. So the first thing I want to talk about is, as we're going for, the red crate and closing in on that, is the disc set. Now, I call this the death set. If you have this disc set, Conquest is not going to be any issue for you overall. You're going to be able to just blow through some of these nodes and battles and things like that. And this set is going to be comprised of your volatile accelerator. You're going to want 3 caustic ignitions. Now, that's kind of a sidebar. I'll touch on that in a second. 2 amplified agonies, and a thermal exhaust. When I say the 3 caustic emissions, obviously I would prefer to have the ability exhaust set. However, unfortunately, I haven't been able to find one of those yet. So unless I get it finishing out Sector 5, I'm not going to be able to have it. However, it's not really needed if you run the 3 caustic emissions. Now this set, a lot of people already know this is a pretty well-known set, but if you haven't heard of it before, I've been running this since the Mall Conquest, so it's worked, been able to red crate using it all the time. You don't need purple discs, and the reason I want to call that out is you'll see that I have some purple discs. I am trying to do this without utilizing those, so that those of you who can't get those, who aren't lucky enough to find them along the way, can be using some easier to obtain discs, okay? So that's what I want to do there. So with the overall rundown, we want to talk about Sector 1. Sector 1's completely done every feat in it. And then Sector 2, I do still have 3 more droid kills to do. I will go over that, and you'll see later in the video the team I used in the strategy and how we're going to get there. But I haven't finished it out yet because stamina, that's a real pinch point nowadays. And also I want to talk about in Sector 2, the mini-boss feat, Star Killer, I cannot get. There's no way I can get those 2 points this Conquest, so I'm just going to have to work around that. I haven't done the Victor boss feat yet for Sector 2, and the reason for that is primarily because with this death set data disk that you compile, I don't want to unequip it and re-equip it and burn through some of my energy to reapply disk, unapply disk. So I'm going to go back and get that after I've done all the other feats I can do, and while I'm working on the Inquisitor feats and have to do various other manipulations of data disks. So I just haven't got that yet because you can't get it with the disk set I have. Now, in addition to that, for Sector 3, you'll see I already have the stealth feat. You could do that with Darth Maul lead if you have the Zeta. Very easy to do because he'll stealth team pretty much every battle, 3 or 4, you pick him up real quick. If you don't have Darth Maul, you could actually use the Inquisitor. You could use 8's brother. He gains stealth for 3 turns at the start of the battle and can keep that stealth going on himself throughout battle, so it's low-level character that you could use. Or you could run the Separatist with Count Dooku and use his Master of Makashi to keep stealthing the Separatist teams. So there's some options there if you don't have a Zeta on the Darth Maul lead. I haven't done the mini-boss feats yet for Sector 3. I have done the boss feats for Sector 3. That's the Sith Empire. You have to do that once. And then, of course, using my Imperial Troopers for the Hokey Religions. Imperial Troopers are my go-to for Hokey Religion feats. Very easy, knock them out, no problem, especially with the Death Disc set. Sector 4, Galactic Republic. Plenty of teams out there. Not going to really go into that too much. I mean, I use Jedi Master Kenobi. You could use Padme. You could use Gas. You could use Bad Batch, etc. There's plenty of teams there, so that's not going to be a hard feat to talk about and cover. Tenacity Up. The reason I use JMK, doubles up, right? So you get the Tenacity Up basically through osmosis if you're using Kenobi for those Grand Republic feats. So for the mid-boss, the no tanks. No tanks. Anytime you see no tanks, just run CLS. No problems at all. I still have to double back for the Counselor Guardian feat. I'm going to use JML. We'll get into that later. I'll show you how JML basically hides teams or tunes in teams that you need when there's a specific tune that you got to load gear and it's hard to get them to survive. So we'll go over that. I'm still waiting for, again, all the Inquisitor feats. I'm going to try and do those in a separate video and lump them together so I can just put that out and say, here's all the Inquisitor feats, because that was the challenge kind of laid forth this Conquest. Is how we're going to get Darth Malgus in a red crate with all these Inquisitor feats. So I'm just going to do a separate video on Inquisitors only feats per section, broke down, etc. For Sector 5, like I said, I'm just starting off on it, but I did get the defense up already. It's very common knowledge. Defense up's the easy one to get every Conquest if they have it. You're going to want to run the Clone Wars Chewbacca in the lead with Galactic Republic, a battle or two, and you're going to knock those out. You're going to see I actually do that, no problems. It doesn't matter if he dies off. They're going to die quickly, but you'll get that feat knocked out in a few battles. For the Empire kills that you see, I've already got a few of those. Imperial Troopers, again, that's my go-to for a lot of Empire-related kills, or, again, the Hokey Religions. And then you also see for the mid-boss, we did the Note Empire kills and T3 with the same team, and I'm going to show that in a video later on. So, overall, let's get into some actual tutorial gameplay now. What I've done just to help you out with some of these challenging feats or some shortcuts, some little hacks you may or may not have known. So, for the Initiative, Zalbar, and Talia feat, we're going to be using the JML lead with those three characters specifically, of course. And I'm going to run Han. And the reason I'm going to run Han is because he shoots first. There's no way around that. And if you don't run Han and you have lower geared characters like I do here, you're going to see that AoE from the lead come out. It's going to obliterate him. You're not going to get defeat. So if you go in with Han, as you can see, you stun him right away. And if you have that Death Disc set that I keep talking about, it's going to take the lead out. There's no AoEs. Then you just do your thing with JML and Han. Easy peasy. Knock the battle right on out. So enjoy that. So you can knock out the no lead and Darth Scion and Nihilus feats, 20 kills. Doing this, just cheese this note over and over. You're going to want to run a non-combatant lead. That's going to be C-3PO, Wat Tambor, Hermit Yoda, or Mon Mothma. I'm going to use Mon Mothma because I need the other ones. Stamina, again, is a real pinch point. They're more important in other teams that I need for other feats elsewhere. So I'm going to use Mon Mothma here. And as you can see, all you got to do is plug them in. As soon as the battle starts, the battle's going to end, but you're going to get credit for the victory, and you're going to get the feats. So enjoy that. Again, it's the funniest thing I've seen ever. They're probably going to patch it before Conquest 17. But if you haven't got this feat, go ahead and cheese that and knock it out quick as you can. All right. Now, if you're like me, you know there are some teams in Conquest that you come up on, and every time you come up on them, you're like, oh my God, I hate this team. And that's going to be your Sith Empire, Darth Revan and Malix. They're hard to take out. Your gas teams, right? And, you know, for JMK Cat, makes it easy because you just go ahead and nuke gas with Cat's insta-kill, force leap. But there's also the Padme team. The Padme team is annoying. We all know that. So I wanted to show you that if you run the Death Disc set, as I call it, CLS, even low stamina CLS, will obliterate Padme's whole team, literally one-shots every character So just wanted to show that for anybody struggling with Padmes, coming up on a lot of Padmes, plug your CLS in there. All right, so we talk a lot about the Death Disc set, as I call it. I run it for everything in the Conquest. So again, that's why some feats I haven't gotten yet, because it's hard to do with this set, just because enemies die off from damage over time, things like that. You don't get some credits. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to the Perseverance Disc feat and show you how to get that. It's going to take a few battles, but pretty much you want to apply it. In this case, I took off the Amplified Agony, one of them, and I took off 2 of the Caustic Emissions. And then I'm going to go into a Nest node, and this is because obviously Nest is a little bit harder to kill, kind of like Crew. You know, you get some stuns on them or effects on them, it takes a while to kill. So my thought was, the longer I can prolong the battle with this disc set, the more of these Perseverance I can get and try and knock it out in one feat. Now, I went in, and after I did this, I thought about it and said, you know what, I kind of used the wrong team. So you'll see that I'm going to swap out and put Grand Master Yoda in there. And the reason I'm going to do that is the foresight, right? So actually probably would have been a lot easier. Probably would have been one actual battle if I'd have used Grand Master Yoda first. So basically any variation, though, I like to use Padme for this one just because how fast they get buffs from foresight, etc. So the Perseverance Disc makes it totally easy when you're running the Padme Galactic Republic teams. No problem. All right, Sector 2, Beep Boop. Now, anybody that was in the last Conquest probably already knows about the cheese. When you get to the Mon Mothma team with Cara and Kyle in it, you just wait for Cara to pick up that potency up where she's going to keep reviving. And you go in there with Darth Trooper and hit auto, and he'll just keep slaying away basic attacks on Cara, and you'll get that in one battle to 50 kills. Didn't have that node, wasn't an option for me. So, not going to run that team. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to run a Separatist General Grievous team, droids, but I'm going to plug in Watt so I can put the health tech on Grievous. And we're going to find also the perfect node for this would have been an Imperial node, just because of the constant revives they have. You can pick up 7 roughly kills per battle. However, didn't have that. So I specifically go to Night Sisters, and that's because if they have a revive, if old Daka can pull someone up, or they kill one of your members and revive on their own, you can actually pick up 5 kills without obliterating and winning. Therefore, you can still keep saving your stamina, so we're going to let the clock run down on that one. Basically, hit the hyperdrive, and let's fly, right? So, wanted to show you that. For anybody struggling with it, you just run the GG droids with Watt, let the time run out. It's tedious, it's time consuming, but it's going to save stamina overall, and it's going to let you knock that feat out pretty quickly. All right, like I said earlier, we're on the Sector 5 mini-boss, where you have to win with T3 surviving, as well as no Empires. So we're going to run the patented JML Team, JML hide whoever you need to stay alive, and you just overpower, especially you have the Death Disc set. So we're going to run that JML, JKL, JKR, T3, and Wat Tambor. Speaks for itself. Very easy battle. And again, this strategy can be used multiple places. Just wherever you need a character to stay alive, just take out T3, put that character in, use this team. Should be pretty easy to knock those kinds of feats out. All right, and so we're going to talk about Hokey Religions. Hokey Religions is a thing that came up a few conquests ago. Try and make it more challenging, where you can't use Jedi, you can't use Sith, you can't use unaligned Force users. So basically, anybody who uses the Force can't be used to get the Hokey Religions. So I wanted to showcase, there's a few teams you can use if you're struggling with this. First off, the CLS team. The CLS team would work except for Luke, Commander Luke. So instead of using him, because he's an unaligned Force user, you take him out, you put in a wedge lead, the team should still work, still be able to knock it out, no problem. Another team you can run is Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma with the Rebel Fighters, plug and play. Only call out is you can't use Kyle Katarn, because of course he's got Jedi, and that will debunk the whole reason to use that team. Me personally, my favorite to use is Imps, right? The Imperial Troopers, all around great team, especially with some good data discs. They obliterate a lot of stuff. You get Empire kills, stuff like that, but they count for Hokey Religions. So every time I see Hokey Religions, going to run the Imperial Trooper team. And then, of course, the General Grievous Separatist team. As long as you don't put Dooku in there anywhere, you can use that as well and knock out your Hokey Religions. So just wanted to give you some options in case you're struggling with those. Alright, so that's mainly a recap of what I've done in Conquest so far. It's, like I said, it's been a little over 4 days. Again, my thought process and what I like to do is I like to try and rush through, do as much as I can, knock out everything. I'm not really focused on 3-starring every node. Not really focused on getting every feat as I go. I go back and do that with cleanup teams, swapping discs, disc specific, based on what feat I'm going for. Just wanted to get that out and let everyone know. Mainly, the driving force is wanted to make sure everyone knows, if you haven't been aware to this point, how to construct your data discs into that death set that's going to help you knock out nodes quickly. You're going to see a lot of damage over times build up in the thermal exhaust, etc. They're just going to eradicate some teams. Call out again, just a reminder, they are going to be hard to get some of your kill specific feats because the damage over times don't count. But I'm just trying to clear, go through nodes, knock out what I can before I go back and clean up. So just wanted to get that out there. As always, please like, subscribe, comment down below what kind of content you want to see in the future. I do plan on, after getting some of these feats knocked out, going back and doing just Inquisitor feats, helping you with that. So that'll be a video coming up in the future. And again, as always, never tell me the odds.